Now that you have your personal profile account set up on Facebook, let me give you a little walking around tour of the basics of working with Facebook. So I'm in my browser and I just typed facebook.com in the address bar, and if I then press return or enter, if I left Facebook logged in, then it remembers me. And so it immediately brings me to my home page. And there's a lot of information here that you'll become very familiar with in a bit. So I know it's hard to figure out where to focus on first, but let's just take this slowly. First of all, this big box that says Welcome to Facebook, Ann, this will disappear eventually, probably like after I've had the account for a couple of weeks, but usually you don't see this big box here. The bar going across the top is very useful. It's your main navigation bar. And if you ever wonder what is your username in Facebook, you can always see it because it'll appear right here in this bar. Where we are right now is your Facebook homepage. We're at this page. So if I click it, it's going to redraw. It's going to be the exact same page. Unfortunately, Facebook doesn't highlight the page that you're on. So as they're growing exponentially, I'm sure that they have a whole lot of interface people working on trying to make things clear. But you'll learn that some things in Facebook can be very mysterious about how to navigate or how to find things. And that's why you're watching this video. So what does your home page show? The main thing that it shows is what's called your news feed. The news feed, like Twitter, shows people who are in your small social group, your Facebook friends, what they have been writing on their Facebook pages. In addition, anything that you have shared also appears here. So it's in reverse chronological order. As you can see, James Fritz said something 3 hours ago, Bob Levine said something 5 hours ago, and then somebody else replied to Bob. Now, this person, Jeff, isn't actually Ann Smith's Facebook friend. Bob and James are. So the reason I'm only seeing information from Jeff is because when Jeff set up his personal profile, in his privacy settings, he said that his comments made to his friends can be visible to people who are not his friends. Jeff, on his page, saw something that Bob wrote, and he commented on it. Just like here, I could comment on James's post. So I just click comment, and I'll write something on here like, great link. Right? Now we're going to be talking about the privacy settings in a later video. That's basically what this is about. When you get to the bottom of the page, way down here, it'll usually say, show me older things. So it's just one long page that you can keep on scrolling and scrolling. Unfortunately, you can't really jump back to like a certain date or anything like that. So I'm scrolling back up to the top of the page. On the left side is a way to filter what you're looking at in your news feed. So if you become a fan of a business page, and we are going to be talking about that in depth later, but Ann is a fan of a business page already, you can see just what those pages have been posting by clicking pages. So she's just a fan of the Design Geek page. If you want to filter this out to just what people have entered here in what's called their status update, you can click status update. And so we just see what people have entered in this little box right here. Now this box right here is obviously quite important. This is the main way that you communicate with your friends in Facebook, is you enter something in the status box. So it could be, what are you doing? What are you interested in? What tickles your fancy? It could be just a thought that you type here. Or you can also, as you can see, attach a photo. You can record a video. You can invite people to an event. You can share a link. But here I'm just going to write just an easy message saying, it's another beautiful day in Ventura. So it appears in my own news feed as well. So that's our home page. Now, what if somebody wanted to see what our page looks like on Facebook? If you click the profile link up here in this bar going across the top, this is called your Facebook profile page. And this is what other people would see if they clicked through to the Ann Smith page. So they only see my posts. They only see my friends. And if they click on info, they'll see my info. And if they click on photos, they'll see my photos, if I've uploaded any photos, and so on. So let's go back to home where we see the full list of all my status updates and all my friends' status updates. And then let's click through, say, to Bob. Okay, so if we click on Bob, we're going to end up at Bob's profile. All right, so it's a larger picture of Bob. We see who his friends are. If we have any friends in common, we see that. We see everything that Bob has written, but nothing that his own friends have written, because that's private to Bob and his friends. The only time that we see things that maybe some of his friends have written, if they've commented on something, and they've said that non-friends can see their comments. If we want to see Bob's info, we can click Info here. If we want to see the photos that he's uploaded, we can click Photos and so on. So this area here is also called the wall. You can call it the wall, or you can call it newsfeed. The newsfeed is a combination of all of your friends' walls. Let's put it that way. I could write something here, and I could then write directly on Bob's wall. So this message would just be seen by Bob, not by any of my friends. So you can send sort of like private messages to each other, but in your privacy settings, you can say like who else can see that. Or at least in my own homepage, it would say that Ann wrote on Bob Levine's wall. Now what is confusing to some people is that you're looking at somebody's profile and you want to see like who their friends are. So you come up here and you click Friends. Let's say that you want to see their profile. You click Profile, and suddenly you're looking at your own profile. What you need to remember is that this blue bar is always your own personal navigation. So even though you may have clicked through to somebody else's page, like let's say Trent, if I want to go back to my own profile, I would click here. If I want to go back to my own homepage with my own news feed, I could click here. If I want to see a list of my own friends, I'd go here, and so on. All right, so this blue bar is always for yourself. Let's go back to Ann Smith's home, and then I'll talk about what is in Friends. So the Friends list your current friends, or it helps you find friends. I just click Friends itself, but if I chose All Friends, it would list all of our friends along with links, and then we can add them to Friends list, which we'll be talking about in a bit. And you can also sort them by recently invited friends and so on. And the inbox just lists any notes and notifications that people have sent you. And then the one that has your name is essentially the same as your profile. So it's 6 of one, half dozen the other. They're the same kind of thing, and you can edit all this information the same way in both pages. It's kind of confusing why they have two ways to get to the same page, but I always consider whenever I want to see what is somebody who's going to look at my profile see, I choose this. And when I want to edit something in my profile, I use this one. The settings lets you set different parameters for what happens in your accounts, like you can change your password and so on. We'll be working with this privacy settings tab in a video in depth. And then there are little applications called Facebook applications that you can add to Facebook, and this is where you change the settings for those. And then this is where you log out. So the way that you use your Facebook profile is that whenever you log on to Facebook or whenever you go to the Facebook page, normally you just type something of what's on your mind. Or if it's something about your business or that you started a new page, you could talk about it here if you'd like. Probably a better way to do that is to talk about it in your business page, which we have a whole chapter set up for that. But now that you've seen what a wall is and what your home page is versus your profile page, now you understand the basics of what Facebook is all about. Now all you need to do is find more friends.